Hey everybody, how's it going? Down the beach on a beautiful day in Lamlash. Apparently it's low tide, but it's actually quite high for low tide. The low tide was 11:57, so this is as low as it's going to get. Boy, oh boy, it's gorgeous though. So lucky to live where I do and to be able to get out into this beautiful landscape. It is a privilege, and I'm aware of that. This is where I can practice gratitude. So my intention is to record another episode of my podcast. I figure, why not? I can get one in the bank. I recorded earlier in the week, and it was a challenging recording because my audio recorder didn't work, and then the other one, I pressed the wrong button, so I ended up with rubbish audio, but I published anyway, because you know what? Minimum viable product, right? So Clover's away over there. I'm going to have to keep an eye on her in case she goes up onto the tennis courts. And Poppy's behind me. If you can see her there. There she is. So I'm going to head over to Cordon direction, see if there's swans and herons. Clover's sniffing. That's what basset hounds do best. They sniff. So I'm going to let me clear my throat first. The island behind you looks nice from Moose 1032. Yeah, that island is called Holy Island, and it's owned by Sami Ling Buddhists. I don't think you'll be able to make it out on this camera, but there is a Buddhist retreat just at the tip there. And there's also a retreat on the other end where there's a lighthouse, which I believe is for recovering women, abused women. I'm not actually sure about that. But I've been over to the Buddhist retreat a few times. I actually helped them build their network because they get their internet from satellite connection that's in a cafe over there behind me. So I went over one time to help them set that up. It's really nice. You can book retreats there. You can go and do meditation and mindfulness and yoga and different things like that. It's a beautiful place. They have an open day once a year, usually in July, where you can go over and have a look around the retreat and the gardens. The gardens are beautiful. And they have these little ponies, Eriskay ponies, just running wild. I've never gone over the peak. My daughter has. She said it was a real slog and she didn't enjoy it at all. She went over with the school on a trip. I think they canoed around the island as well, or kayaked around the island. There's my friend Michael. Thanks for joining, Michael. Good to see you. I hope you're well today. I might see you tonight. It depends on what's happening with the old class scheduling. So today's goal has really been to get my weekly video out, which so far I've managed every week since I started the part-time YouTuber Academy with Ali Abdal. So I'm almost completed the editing. If you're interested in watching it, you can. It's going to be on my YouTube channel, and the topic is going to be sponsorship. It's all about AA sponsorship, what it means, how it can help you, whether you need it. And I go in a bit to talk about how it would work if you didn't feel like doing the steps. So come and watch that if you're interested. But I'm going to do my introduction, then I'm going to talk a bit about acceptance, because that's what's been on my mind for the past couple of days. So I will not be responding to comments while I'm recording this podcast. But if you do comment, I will come back to it at the end. Okay. So So, hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Quoth the Camser. I'm your host, Cams. I'm an alcoholic, and I'm here on the beach in Lamlash on a beautiful Friday morning, recording a podcast about acceptance. So, why acceptance? Well, I've been in recovery for a while, and sometimes the first principles of AA, I need to be reminded of them. And for those of you who have got some sobriety under your belt, you will know only too well that living life on life's terms without any substances to help you to do that can be challenging at times. I mean, it's challenging whether you're an alcoholic or not, right? But I think the problem for us alcoholics is that we've got so used to self-medicating to deal with those things that when we're no longer able to do that, we have to find another solution. And that's where the plan, the program, the recovery program of AA helps me. So, homeschooling is a thing right now. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago on my podcast. So, it's time for an update. This is my first full week, I think. I started homeschooling my 14-year-old son the week before, sort of midweek. And so this week has been my first full week. And here's what happened yesterday. He's facing, what would I call it? He's struggling with English, right? He doesn't want to do his English essay. And he knows he has to, so it's become a big thing in his mind that he's avoiding. And he doesn't really understand the concepts of fear and avoidance, and at least not in the terms that we understand them in. And he doesn't want to talk about it either. He's not one for sharing his feelings. So it's left me with a bit of a challenge. And yesterday morning, we had English, first period, 9:15. He didn't want to get up. So I tried kindness, and I stood in his room for a good 10 minutes. It wasn't working. He wasn't getting up. So I was like, what do I do here? And I ended up losing my temper, I'm sorry to say, which I'm not proud of. And that led to a bit of a breakdown between the two of us. And I left his room and then journaled about it, which is something I recommend that you do. I've been journaling every day now for quite some time, and it was helpful for me to do that. It showed me the error of my ways and made me consider how I might have done things differently. And I think the idea, this is where acceptance came into it, because I have a lot of things on my to-do list. I have a lot of things I want to do to build my business, to give my family some financial security for my own peace of mind, and because, you know, at the moment I'm not earning and my wife is supporting us, which leads me to a feeling of guilt, which I acknowledge. And so there's a real incentive for me to build a business and start earning income. And I'm not able to achieve the things I set myself to achieve because of homeschooling, right? That made me rethink the things I want to achieve, or the purpose for which I want to achieve them, which is to have a happy family, to have a good relationship with my family, to be self-fulfilled through being a loving husband and a loving father. And that leads me to see that the things I've set on my list of tasks to do are not as important as spending time with my son and doing the best that I can for him. So that's where the idea of acceptance comes in. I have to accept the fact that in order to have the best relationship I can with my family, to be the best father and the best husband I can be, I have to accept that 100%. and acknowledge the fact that my to-do list isn't really going to get me further forward, or it's not going to get me to where I want to be as quickly as just taking time out and being kind, you know? So I put this out on Twitter, and I got some nice responses from some friends who were saying that, you know, I should be compassionate towards myself and not beat myself up for this lack of acceptance. And even that 100% acceptance is not achievable. And so if I fail to achieve that, then I'm going to be falling short, and that's going to make me feel bad. So, yeah, that's what's been on my mind for the past couple of days. And it's interesting. You know, it's something for me to ponder a bit more. That's why I've come on here to talk about it and see what comes out as I talk. And that's why I've been journaling about it. And I suspect I'll write about it in next week's newsletter as well. Speaking of which, yes, I do have a newsletter which is going out at camscampbell.substack.com at the moment. So if you want to get my newsletter, that's how you do it. There's also a link on my Twitter, so you can go there and check it out. My Twitter is @Camule. So I would love it if you would come and subscribe to my newsletter and help me out. Because what I'm doing this year is I'm building this business in the recovery niche and trying to move the needle forward just a little bit each day. Making content I enjoy. So that's why I'm doing this, making this podcast and talking through my thoughts and feelings. And I'm also live streaming it too. It's going out on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook on my Quoth the Camser Facebook page. So if you subscribe to my YouTube or my Twitter or my Facebook, you will get a notification when I go live. And you'll get to see this beautiful scenery behind me that you're missing right now if you're just listening to the audio. It's absolutely stunning today. It's so nice. So privileged to have this on my doorstep, honestly. Sometimes it's just overwhelming at how lucky I am. So, yeah, acknowledging that and having gratitude for that is something I should practice every day because it's powerful. So that's my topic of acceptance. If you have any comments on that, I would love to hear them. Just find me on Twitter, come along and at me, @Camule, and we'll get a conversation going maybe. I'm enjoying Twitter. For those of you who are not on Twitter and are in recovery, if you look up the hashtag recovery posse, you will find some really supportive people on there. It's an incredible little community of support and friendship for recovering alcoholics. And not just alcoholics, any kinds of addictions. And I'm finding that to be very helpful. So take a look at that. But with all that said, I am going to wish you all a very good week, and I will thank you all for listening to my podcast. Speak to you soon. Bye for now. Right, I think that recorded. I hope I've not messed it up like I did earlier in the week. Wow, this is just, honestly, so beautiful. So I'm down the beach. I'm going to go to the co-op in a minute because my daughter's not feeling very well, and I've told her that I would get her some fizzy water. She's lying at home feeling a bit sorry for herself, so I'm going to do that. Hamish has got science starting at 12:40, so I think he'll have enough of an impetus to do that because he likes science. And the high school here has been pretty good, I have to say. They're getting better at running this show, this shit show, if I may be so bold, in which we now find ourselves. And it's, you know, we're all coming together to try and make things as good as we can for each other. That's one of the good things that's come about because of this COVID crisis. I mean, it's brought me closer to my son, which is a phenomenal thing. But to watch the way that the schools are growing into online teaching, it's, yeah, I take my hat off to them. It must be an incredibly difficult thing. So when I find myself complaining that it's difficult to follow all of the different clickable things that they send you, you know, I need to just check myself and say, wait a minute, Cams, wait a minute. This is new to everyone and they're doing an incredible job. So yeah, well done to everybody at Arran High School and Douglas Academy for being able to come up with a way of continuing to provide education for our young people. Yeah, hats off to them. So I'm going to sign off. I've not had any more comments since I recorded my audio. I've got 3 people online at the moment, it says. So if you're one of them, come say hi. I'm going to head to the co-op anyway. Just enjoy this bit of winter sun. And so far the dogs are still in sight. That's good. Here's Poppy coming. Where is she? There she is. Poppy's our Japanese Akita. And Clover's the Basset Hound. They're both old ladies now. I think they're 10 and 11. So the kids have grown up with those dogs. Just as I did. I grew up with dogs too. Which is probably why I have tried to get my kids to grow up with dogs as well. Right, I think I've run out of chat, so I'm going to get off the stream. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Remember, you're not alone.